Hey everyone, this is Cassandra Love Lambert, also known as C Love, and I just am feeling really compelled to share while everything's so fresh in my mind about some experiences I went through in this last relationship I was in, because I feel like a lot of women are going through the same thing right now, and if I could share any wisdom that supports a woman making a choice that will support them and not going through as much pain as I am going through or that I went through, I want to share it. This can go for men too. But currently I'm talking sister to sister because I'm not a man. Last time I checked, I'm not a man. I'm not a man. So I guess the thing that comes to mind the most is lies. I was lied to a lot. And I tried to be the empathetic, the understanding, compassionate one. I tried really hard. But what happens with lies is, well, it's even more than just lies. It's like your intuition, it just like knows. It'll make you feel sick. Literally, your body will feel sick. You'll feel sick in your gut. You'll feel uneasy. You'll have anxiety. And it just doesn't go away even if they say words of reassurance, because you're picking up on something energetically. Energy doesn't lie. So there's these people that are lying with their words, but like their energy can't lie. Energy never lies. And so us as women and being intuitive beings pick up on that. And so then there's this like incongruence in their behavior, their actions, and then their words. Like they aren't matching up fully. Something's off. And so you feel that. And so when you feel that, you need to trust it. And then once you get a first flag or a red flag or a sign, you need to choose out. Because otherwise, if you sit there and you try to be all compassionate and you try to be all empathetic, another sign will show up with another red flag, and it'll just keep going and going until it gets so bad. And then you're like, how the hell am I in this? I would have never chosen into this in the beginning. So I got into this relationship and I thought it was really amazing. I thought I met a really amazing person. They seemed to have a lot of the things on my list that I was looking for. Like they seemed responsible and a dad, because I'm a mom. And I like that they coached kids in sports. I'm not going to give all the exact information because I do understand you can't and want to keep names and things private. But so they coached kids and they just seemed like attentive and considerate and thoughtful. And they seemed even like they were receiving like my boundaries okay, and like they were totally agreeing with them. But parts of their story never made sense, or parts of their story just seemed off. And then there was like, they never invited me over. Why didn't you invite me over to see your place? You've been to my place. Why don't I even know where you live? That was like a red flag. Another red flag was a situation where we met them to go ice skating. Me and my daughter met him and his son. We went ice skating. And then right before we go outside to the cars to go on to the next location, he tells me this weird story that didn't even make sense. And I don't even remember the exact story because it just never made sense. He told me a story of like the car he was leasing wasn't trying to renew the registration or something, so he had to take it in for a couple days. So right now he's driving his dad's beater car. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And then I go outside and like when I saw the car, it was just this head to toe rush of a feeling of instantly not feeling safe. Who are you? Um, I felt lied to in that moment. I just felt lied to. And I remember having to do my own tapping session with EFT tapping because the emotions around that, I felt so like lied to and betrayed and this and that. So I was trying to be understanding. And I just kind of let it go. But the thing is that whatever story he told me about that car he was leasing, that car never came back. So that story he told me was a lie. So that was another red flag. And so I keep going along, trying to have empathy, like, oh yeah, well, if I didn't have my car, or if I lost my car, I'd be embarrassed too. Let me have some compassion. He's in a custody battle with his son. It seems that this custody thing is taking a lot out of him. I was just trying to be very, very compassionate for his whole situation. And it just seemed like I just kept getting pulled into this thing that kept changing. Like, he started off looking like this whole person, and then like it just kept changing to, well, he's actually this person. So he never like portrayed himself as who he really was. And he was never just forthcoming and fully transparent about who he was. And so, but they were like you don't get it all at once, right? You get it like here, there, all of a sudden you're in this big old mess. So time goes by, and what happened? Let me think. Okay, so the car, oh yeah, the next thing that came about was it was Halloween. It was super busy time for me because I do makeup, and I do amazing makeup. I get booked solid every year for Halloween, and it's one of my favorite holidays because I get to get really creative and do things I normally wouldn't do. But it was Halloween weekend, so I'm super slammed. But like I'm texting him back and forth, yada yada yada, in between clients, and I even talked to him on the phone at one point when I had a break, and I talked to him in the evening before I went to bed. We even fell asleep on the phone together, and this was like the week that I was finally getting invited to his space, to his world, to see his reality. And like a couple days before I'm supposed to go, he tells me like this story about, because he had to pay, I think, $2,500 or $3,000 or something for some psychological test for the custody battle. He was really struggling, and I was on guard about him asking for money, believe me, because I've already had that lesson in my past with guys. But so that wasn't the lesson this time. But like, so he's struggling with money, this and that, and then so he said that he moved in with his dad. And so then I was just like, you moved in with your dad? When did you move in with your dad? Because like he didn't mention it till right then. And then he was like, this weekend. I'm like, how did you move in with your dad this weekend when I talked to you so much? Like, you never once mentioned it. And then it was like, oh, I didn't want to tell you because you were busy with work and this and that. And I just kept thinking, like, where the hell was he living before this? Because it had already been July to August, August to September, September to October. It had already been 3 months of not ever being invited over this person's house, or up to where they lived at all. And there was always this excuse of like, oh, well, it's just easier for me to come to you, and you drive so much already for work, and all these things. But like, yeah, so this is another red flag, right? Like, he moved somehow. And so that was the next red flag. But another flag came, and a deeper one. It comes around, I think, Christmas or something. I think it was Christmas, because it was before New Year's. It was like around Christmas. But so another red flag comes along. Me, him, and my daughter were in the kitchen, playing games or something. I don't even know. This one is definitely heaven sent, because I don't even know what we were talking about. But all of a sudden he spit out being married still. And I was just like, what? Because he told me he was a divorced man in a custody battle for his son, because his ex-wife was trying to take his son to Australia, and like out of country, which would have made it where he would never see him. And so I really sympathized and empathized with this person, because I was just like, oh, if that was my daughter, I'd be going bananas, you know? And then he had the whole story of her cheating on him and all this stuff. So he was really working my heartstrings, guys. Anyways, so he's still married and on paper. And I was like, what do you mean you're still married on paper? I thought you were divorced. Oh, well, I consider it divorced the moment I walked out of the house. And I'm like, but you're not really divorced. You're still married on paper. So, like, if you wanted to go get married tomorrow, you can't, because you're still got a contract going on. And he didn't understand contracts. He didn't understand energy, that there's still like an extremely strong energetic cord between the two of them because of that piece of paper. And he kept trying to like dismiss it. And it actually took me like a few weeks to really sink in, like, holy shit, this guy is still married. I would have never chosen into this. I would have never chosen into this in the beginning. Never. And so that was a big betrayal, right? And then there was more and more and more, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And then, come to find out, a few days ago, I find out that even some of the stories for some of these lies were more lies. So this guy never told me the truth, even about even about leaving his wife. He never told me the truth about a lot of things. And if I would have just paid attention at the beginning to my intuition, and to like the littlest thing, like that's weird, or those feelings of feeling sick or not safe, like really honoring my intuition. I think all women need to honor their intuition, and when that first weird thing pops up, you just be like, okay, well, bye. Like, you're 40 years old. No reason to be lying. No reason to like not tell the truth and be transparent. Yeah, we need to get stronger, ladies, at having our boundaries, at choosing out. We don't need to be their mom. We don't need to be sitting here having to deal with their bullshit or their crap. They need to get their shit together and tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because here's the other thing is, fights would start because I didn't trust him. And I didn't trust him because he's not trustworthy. And he would get mad at me because I didn't trust him. But like, really, oh, so I'm supposed to trust you even though you're lying. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But he would make me wrong and like punish me for it and be mean and spiteful and just flip things on me all the time, like gaslighting. But he's lying. So ladies, don't deal with this. Get out. You deserve so much better. You deserve someone who can be open-hearted and honest with you, who reciprocates your heart, who cherishes your feelings, who wants to build bridges of trust by proving that they are trustworthy versus automatically burning those suckers down where you don't even have a chance. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to be doing some tapping circles, EFT tapping circles around things like this. So please join in. I'm also available for one-on-one EFT tapping sessions. So if you would like to connect with me on that, let me know, and we can do a complimentary strategy session to see if we're a good fit. Have a great day. I hope you're staying safe in quarantine, and I will talk to you soon.